Right, let's do this. Okay, everybody, welcome to Tricks Talks episode 3. And this week I've got a very special guest. Though nobody will remember him because he's as old as I am, and he's not even good enough to. He's not even good enough to play in Halo 4. But for those of you who don't know him, I'm here with Harry Thomas, who's AKA Lethal. Now, again, like I said, you've not really played competitive Halo since what? Halo 2?
No, I did play the first half of Halo 3. That was the latest I really properly got into it. But after that, it was just that was it really for me. I was dusted, washed up back in.
All right, well, a lot of people who are still around now, so a lot of people coming from Reach and Force, so they probably won't remember you. So if you can just give us like a brief history of, what you've done when you started playing, etc.
There's not really too much to talk about. The first tournament I went to was back in 2002 in the summer. I was competed until 2011, something like that. I think around the Halo 3. It might be a bit earlier than that, 2010. I come back for one event for EGL9 for Halo 4. Didn't think much of it really. And that's pretty much it. I won all the events for Halo 1 and Halo 2, but Halo 3 I was not very good at, to be fair. I was good, but not that good. There was tons of players better than me at the time, and everyone just gave up. So, yeah, that's my little life story.
That's his little life story. So he's not accomplished that much. He's not got any, top 8 Halo 4 placements under his belt.
No. Don't be that washed up.
All right, no, but I'm glad you're here because, obviously, you, all joking aside, you've played Halo at a really high level when there was a high level, especially in Europe during Halo 1, Halo 2, first half of Halo 3. So you've seen a lot of good players, played against a lot of good players, and you've actually played in a lot of good tournaments as well. You played in the size of tournaments with, quality players that we haven't seen in Europe for a long, probably maybe ECL 1 is the last time I could say that we had a really big Halo event. Yeah,
that was definitely the last biggest, because I know the biggest events was XL5 and ECL 1, but it's been quite a long time since actually. It's quite a while.
So, you've moved on now, haven't you? You still play competitively, you don't play Halo?
No, I moved on to start. Well, I don't know, I've moved on quite a lot of things actually. I was in the fighting game scene for about a year playing Tekken. I won a couple of tournaments in Tekken, and then I moved on to Mortal Kombat. Then I realised I was actually awful at Mortal Kombat compared to Tekken. I was just getting top 8, top 6s, awful. Whilst Denon was winning all of them. Foxy Grandpa, you probably actually remember him. Yeah, he was winning them whilst me and 12 Gauge were getting epoxy top 8s and that. And then after that, I was playing StarCraft casually, but that was when I was playing Halo 4 at the same time because I thought I'll come back and just see what it's like and stuff. Wasn't my kind of thing, wasn't my kind of game really. And then I moved from StarCraft casually to properly now. But it's not really one of those games you can just pick up because I've never played an RTS game not professionally, but just in general. I used to play them back when I was a kid, but I never actually took it, as serious as people do nowadays. So, I used to see it and I used to think, I'll give that a try and see how it goes. But it's going all right so far. Obviously not the best, but it's basically average at the moment, so I've just got to work on it. But it's one of those games where it does take a while. It's not something you can just pick up and play like you would with a shooting game or
StarCraft looks hard.
I think that's an understatement. It's like one little false blip and then you might as well stop playing and you've got to learn to lose. If you don't learn to lose, then there's no point in playing basically.
I was telling you, didn't I? I was watching StarCraft and again I have no idea what's going on. It was very exciting, but you're right, people can lose the game in the blink of an eye, and I'm just like, nah, he can come back from that, and everybody's like, no, it's over. It's like
I was the complete opposite. When I was so into Halo still, I was watching, and I was just like, why are these floating heads overlords Berserk? Why is he floating heads and why are these little ant things flying about? I was like, if I had to watch StarCraft as EVZ, I'd watch an ant field or something, an ant's nest, and just watch that fight, and it's not really that entertaining. But even now I see it like that because ZVZ's not that entertaining. But no, obviously I picked it up and I thought, okay, fair enough. It's obviously a pretty good game. And then I just got way into it. I started playing it stupid hours. Recently, I've been playing it off and on, but I've really I've got to get back into it and stuff. I've had a couple of week break now from StarCraft, and I'm going to basically start playing again probably Monday actually.
Well, you've just come back, haven't you, from tournament I-51?
Yeah, it was only a couple of weeks though. I think.
So where did you place at I-51?
There wasn't really that many players. I think it was top 12 overall, but the players I had I think a lot of foreigners came over this time, a lot of Grandmaster foreigners, and I thought, okay, fair enough. I could beat like most of the people in my own country, but it's like outside of England, which is pretty rapid, like pretty hard. And there was three players I didn't want. I didn't want Sam Bling, obviously, because I don't like Protoss in general. And there was these two other guys called Dignitas Tefril and Fnatic Mini Razor. I thought if I don't have any of them, brilliant, perfect. I've actually never matched Sam in the tournament, so it's quite weird. I probably like matching my 52 now. I've said that. And and believe it or not, I had Dignitas Tefril and Fnatic Mini Razor in my group, and that was fantastic. I looked at my group, I was like, shit. I couldn't believe it. But I got knocked out of the group. Like every single tournament I've been to, I've got out group stage, and I'll end up like top 16, rough that. But it was top 12 this event. But it's only because there wasn't many players. But a lot of players did actually come over, and I think the summer tournament it's going to be very big because
they're always
the big
huge.
thing. Yeah, I know. There's going to be a big thing called Mind Sports Academy, where they're going to do a UK tour, online and offline events. There's going to be like 20 different events, I think, and ICs will be one of them as well. And all of us have to go to different tournaments in the UK to basically get these get points like in a leaderboard. And the top 4 get like 2 nights free stay in London and go play in the grand finals. And the other 12 players, it's an open bracket. And I'd rather keep away from the open bracket because I know it's just gonna be all foreigners again. So
it's a grind.
maybe a Korean here and there, depending on how much the prize money is going to be. I heard it's quite a lot, but they've not confirmed it. But yeah, I'd rather avoid the open bracket as much as possible. So, but it's top 16 can go and compete. So if it's just the UK only, I won't even have any trouble. I won't even have to bother trying to actually get through.
Ooh.
But if a lot of foreigners come over, then I have to properly sweat it out, basically.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that about people coming over. Now, I imagine a lot of the people who did come over for Insomnia, did they have sponsors? Were they all sponsored to come over?
Oh, what, all the players for starting off last event?
Yeah, who came?
Yeah, like Dignitas, Fnatic.
Yeah.
I can't remember what else. FM eSports. Yeah, you name it. They all bloody came over, didn't they? Yeah, because like the UK, like we didn't do really well actually. Like normally we used to like Bling wing it, but I think he came top 6 or top 4. I think Orc, who's a UK player, came top 4, and I came top 12, and the other UK player came top 12 as well. So yeah, UK guys didn't really do too well at this event.
All right, now there's going to be a lot of Halo people here who are probably going to be getting really angry that we're talking about StarCraft. So
yeah, we'll move away from that. So it's like more about Halo.
But no, like I said, I'm glad I got you on here because you have experienced Halo at a much higher level when it's a lot more healthier than it is now. So I wanted to ask you, we know the game isn't great, and we know we've been hit sort of by 2. I mean, in your eyes, it's probably more than 2, but most players would say we've been hit sort of by 2 bad Halo games on the bounce. But as a player who has played Halo 1 and 2 at a really high level, what do you think is wrong at the moment? Is it just the game? Or do you think there's actually something more to that? Is there something more to do with the community? Because the last event we had 9 teams, and that was on Halo 3, which was meant to be a more popular game.
Worst in the 12 years that I've seen the scene or competed or played in general. That is the worst I've ever seen. I think the second smallest actually was I-50, believe it or not. And I just can't.
What do we have at I-50? 20?
No, 18, but I heard half of them are makeshift, which, don't get me wrong, those stats could be wrong, but that wouldn't surprise me the way most of them were makeshifts. But yeah, like even like back in 2002, 2003, even the very first Halo 1 event, it was literally it was about 60 players and stuff, and that was all local. That was all just down south of London. I couldn't believe it. And the thing about now, and compared, it's ridiculous. Even like, was it 2003, 2004? The last Halo 1 event had 30-something teams, 40 teams, and I was just like, bloody hell, this is pretty good. And I thought to myself, when Halo 2, Halo 3 comes out, there's about 80 teams, 100 teams, because obviously back then we were playing on bloody 256k down and 0.1 up back then, so it was like
AOL dial-up.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Back then, you had to LAN. There was no way you could play online, and when you did, you had to make sure you had a really good connection. Sorry, that's my sister. And but yeah, we all had to LAN. I would LAN every 2 weeks with my friends, and then a weekend here and there, I will play with the people around London and stuff. A good example is the fighting game scene. Like they all play in the arcades and play locally. Even nowadays, they do that because obviously arcade players are much better than the ones who are top online. It was the same for Halo 1. We had to do the same thing. We just land all the time. And but yes, so I went a bit off topic. Basically, the amount of players compared to then and now, it's just a joke. I think that one of the main reasons is there's no new blood. Like, how many 16, 18-year-olds is there who are like really got a real drive to actually want to play and want to win? You've got none. I think
Yeah,
there's almost zero. Maybe you've got like people like Fracture and stuff like that, but then I do like them. They're really like, obviously I played against at the event for a laugh. You know, they're not bad players. They're just getting used to the land feel and everything, land experience. But you know, we need like a good chunk, like 50
yeah. There's just
people or
not
something,
enough.
just to
There's
come
not enough
over. No,
people.
but it's also the game itself, which is not attracting him. And I'm going to be a bit harsh here. I don't think the top mid staff are promoting it enough either. They're way too Call of Duty focused. Like, Call of Duty is like big enough as it is, and if you really enjoyed Halo and really like loved the game, you would do your best to market as much as possible the event. And I saw next to nothing basically. Like, I might be wrong. Like, you know, you can have an argument about it and stuff, but like, I think a lot of people will agree with me that the marketing side of things when it comes to promoting Halo 3 was god awful. It was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen. Like, 9 teams. I'm not surprised there was 9 teams. Actually, to be fair, I'm surprised the event didn't even get cancelled. It was like that bad. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's just a number of reasons. It's not like all set on one reason why it all went downhill. It was literally a number of things. But yeah, I think it all came together, and it just proves why it just became awful.
yeah. No,
Best way
I
of putting it.
agree completely because
Yeah,
I know, like I said at the start, I know we've had two bad games, but we did supposedly move back to a game that was meant to be really popular. You know, and I love Halo 3, and it
yeah,
was really popular back in its day. And I know, you know, I'm not feeling enough to think that we'd suddenly have like 30 plus teams, but I did think if we went back to Halo 3 again, everybody, you know, everybody voted for it, that we'd get more than
yeah,
nine, that we'd get more than
yeah.
9 teams. Um, so there
Bad. I
is,
should be laughing really,
yeah,
but
but
yeah.
this is sort of why I've asked you the question because it can't just be the game. It
Mm.
can't just be the game that is
Well,
making
no,
people stop
I don't
playing.
think it's the game. No, because like you can't really. It's like going back to an ex-girlfriend, really, isn't it? Like, you may have someone who's like not that decent looking, but like if you go back to something which is really fit, like Halo 3, and when you realise it's still not working out, you realise why. It's really really hard to
What an
explain because
analogy!
it's just a number of reasons. I know. Thank you very much. No, it's. I reckon it's definitely the whole new blood thing as well. Like, when he went from Halo 1 to Halo 2, it was like all of a sudden all these new kids came out of the block. Like, came out the block. It was like Halo 1. I was like, who the fuck's that? Oh, sorry, who the hell is that? Like, you know, he's got a number in his name. We had Ants. We had Gav. We've had like there was so many, and it made the scene like even bigger. Oh, not even bigger. Actually, I'd say it's roughly the same because I've had about 95% of Halo 1 players quit because they were like, oh, Halo 2, it's awful, blah, 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 which it was. Like, I thought it was awful as well because the skill gap went from that to that pretty much. I mean, Halo 3 went from that to, like, you can't see it. And yeah, but my point is there was lots of new blood. Like, you know, there was so many new people and there's so many old faces disappeared. And Halo 2, Halo 3, you can see the massive difference. A lot of the old people stayed whilst the new blood came in. So that's why there were so many teams, like 40, 50 teams at one event, because of the fact that the new blood and old blood were like together, basically. And then Halo Reach, all the old faces left and not many new faces came in. Actually, it was next to none, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
because it's the cycle still continuing where no one new's coming in, that's why you got 9 teams. So you got to find, it's either the game itself, 343. I don't have really much faith in them, but they've got to figure out a way to actually make the game attractive again and not a pile of rubbish, in all honesty. Not a game which takes absolutely no skill in the slightest.
no, I completely agree with that. And the main thing, I'm glad you mentioned about 343 because I know they did the you know the Halo 4 GC, which was good.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
there's a lot of hype about, but again, what you mentioned about promotion of the Halo 3 tournament, the way the first like 2 days of Halo 4 GC were terrible. They couldn't stream it, and I know they said I think it wasn't their fault.
yeah.
Something to do with the venue, but again, it does kind of seem like
They
if you're
went
a big
all.
company,
Yeah, nah, they were all wrong about that. It should have been if it was that much money, it should have been a 4v4 event, and it should have just basically been split a lot better. Like, not 200 grand to first place. Like, the poor kid who came second. Who was it? Who came second?
Stola came second.
Yeah, that. Yeah, he. I don't know how he lost that. I didn't see the final. I saw
Oh, I
most of it.
did. Oh my god, he had it. He had it won. I mean, I know Halo 4 isn't that good to watch, but
Yeah.
Solar had it won. It was 1-1. All he had to do, he was like, he had the high ground, and for some reason he comes jumping out. And I remember just being like, oh my god.
You're under ground pressure though, man. Christ, like you get a 2 bedroom house like round here. Well, in Surrey, you'd be lucky to get an apartment, but
Yeah.
but no, it was like don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. The viewer count was quite high. I think it was like 8 to 10,000, the maximum it hit, and I was just couldn't believe it. Like I could not believe they made it FFA into 1v1.
Yeah.
Why was it not fours? Like I'm sorry, but isn't Bravo like working with him? Like, isn't he supposed
I
to be
think
the
he's
one?
the community manager. I think that's his title.
Yeah, great management he's been doing.
Oh man, I can't wait to move on to these next questions with you because you're like, I told you before the show, like I've been getting, I wouldn't say slagged off, but I've been getting so many people having a go at me for my attitude towards Halo at the moment.
Doesn't matter. It's your don't like, you know.
But yeah, going back to 343 and making it, making it a 1v1. One of my concerns with 343 is that a lot of people think differently, but I genuinely don't think they really understand, or they just don't really care about esports, because when you have that much money, that was great. Don't get me wrong, that was amazing.
Yeah,
but you do it in like an FFA, and it's like you could have. Imagine if they said it's a 4v4, you'd have got all the instinct straight. Everybody would have come back to compete for that.
I would come back with a team to actually try.
Exactly.
Like,
but they didn't. And they made it a 1v1, and then they promised that there'd be like something after that, and there never was. There's nothing. It was kind of, it was like a one-off, and he died. And then when you see, I think he's called Frank O'Connor, who's the main guy at 343. He did an interview after about esports, and he's quite negative about it. And then when you see
negative about his own, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but it's like when you see, I mean, you probably don't follow them. I follow Waypoint on Twitter, and I follow a lot of the main guys from Halo on Twitter, like say Quindel Hoyle, and any kind of criticism directed towards Halo 4 is just dismissed. It's like I said before the show, yeah, and that's the thing, and it's not just like the pros are constantly having a go, and then he sort of dismisses that as saying,
they have a right to.
Well, you think they would, but like they're kind of dismissive, saying like, yeah, but you're the minority. Everybody else loves our game. But when you look at the population, it's the worst performing Halo in the history of Halo. It didn't even last a year in the top 10 played games on the Xbox.
It could have been so much better though. I thought it was better than Reach, in my opinion. Like it seemed, a lot smoother.
It was
like
better
netcodes were fixed. Yeah, it was exactly. It was just, they just went the wrong ways about promoting it. Again, it's marketing. It's like no one knows how to advertise or something. It's just a complete joke. Like,
yeah.
Like, what can you do? Like, I'm sorry, but you can't just throw 200 grand at a tournament and go, here, there you go. It's just, that's another thing. They could have used that money to actually done good with it, They
could have done like consecutive events, maybe smaller prize pool, and had something more like one every other month.
Or something ongoing. Yeah, not stupid online FFA rubbish where you have to like make 10 accounts to try and get high up in that.
Yeah.
Like they could have had like, I don't know, like qualifiers, loads of qualifiers, streamed all the qualifiers in America and then streamed all the qualifiers in Europe. It could have been really good. It could have been something special. It's all about, the tension, it's all about the build up to the actual tournaments themselves. Even the qualifiers, it's like a good thing to watch because all the Americans placing against each other would be a good laugh. And I assume a lot of the viewers across the world would like to watch the Europeans as well, just to see what they're like in comparison. But but don't get me wrong, if it was fours and there was like a chance in Europe to play in the fours over there, I would have said to Louis and who was our team, Adam and Max. Well, before that it was Josh. I would have said, I'm like, nah, we'll just go to Germany and play in the GC rather than actually go to EGL9 itself.
But it's like I was saying, it's all these things that 343 do, how they're so dismissive of like the criticism towards Halo 4, and when a lot of the pros and even a lot of the fans talk to them about things that they want, like a lot of them, obviously, a lot of them talk about Halo, they just want things like Halo 2, or they want a 150 ranking system. They're really dismissive of that as well. They're like, no, don't, that kind of stuff didn't work. We're going to make something better. And it's like, I do think, okay, if you can make something better than the 150 ranking system, great. But you've shown us with Halo 4 that you don't seem to get it. Like, this CSR things, like, that was just... and their idea of a competitive game type, this still infuriates me, and they tweet about it so much.
They copy Call
Is
of
that
Duty so
Ricochet?
much.
That Ricochet game type. That's their idea of a competitive game type, and they tweet about it all the time.
It's so good.
It's like it's oh my god. I do think to myself like only an American developer could put American football into a game and say it's the
Yeah.
greatest thing ever.
Well, Griffball.
Oh god, it's just I hated Ricochet when
Oh, the game type, the stuff they're doing, I feel like I've caught AIDS, like just looking at it and watching it. It's one of the worst things. It's like I feel physically sick even like listening to you talk about it. Can we change the subject?
no, no, we're getting
Oh,
our eye on the air today.
yeah.
But it's just it's like and this is why, and I'm sure when I post this, I'll get even more shit after people who've been
It
having a
don't
go at
matter.
me.
Don't matter.
But
Yeah.
this is why I am being more sort of realistic or pessimistic towards Halo 2 Anniversary and Halo 5. And don't get me wrong, my god, I hope I'm wrong because if they pull it off, great, I get a great Halo game. But
Mm.
if I stay sort of realistic about it, then I'm not going to get disappointed when I get to play Halo 4.2. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Oh Christ, yeah. No, don't get me wrong. If the Halo 2 anniversary comes out, but what I mean is it needs to be identical, like 60 frames, none of this 30 frames, jumping in space, zero gravity rubbish. We mean like 60 frames per second, the exact game, the exact maps, nothing different. Basically how it was before, but I assume it's going to be in HD or whatever.
yeah, that's all
And I
exactly
can
as it was
guarantee,
before.
yeah,
Don't touch it, just make it pretty, and we'll be happy.
exactly, exactly. And I can guarantee 90% of like the veterans, especially everyone at SSRCG, will all just like come back, and that's again old blood and new blood coming together again, which will make
Yeah,
big events.
and that'll be the
Like
first time in a
if
long time.
well, exactly, like over at SSRCG, we've got like so many people. We've got like 50, 60 people like regularly on our forums all the time, and I'll have a look because obviously I'm one of the co-founders with Gavan and the others. Um, have a look and see how many members we have, and with like 50, 60 active members every day regularly, like all four used to play Halo as well. You know, all of them coming over, that's easily like, you know, 15 teams plus how many teams you guys have at top mid, that's 30 again,
Yeah,
like, you know.
exactly.
So it's just one of those things. I think, yeah, Halo 2 anniversary, I can't bloody speak properly. Halo 2 anniversary, yeah, like that could bring back a lot of people, and it maybe might continue to Halo 5. I can't see it happening though. We'll probably just play Halo 2 anniversary competitive and then just leave Halo 5 afterwards.
Well, definitely.
But
But this is, you see, it's that reason why I don't know if they will do Halo 2 Anniversary as we want it.
yeah.
Because would you, as a developer, would you make a game that is probably going to impact on the sales of the game after? Because let's be honest, you're not really going to beat the Halo 2's multiplayer with anything else you do after it.
It's just, oh, that's a tough question. It's one of those things, yeah, it's like it needs to be new in some way, like a new graphics engine, or what I am worried about is the fact that when Halo Anniversary came out, the first one, it was just Halo Reach, and I was just like, what is this? What am I playing on? It's just, yeah, there was words I could describe it in many ways, but
Yeah.
obviously I can't say it on your show, but yeah, I'm worried that Halo 2 Anniversary is going to be like the Halo 5 engine or something. Like, I'm really worried about that. And if it is, I reckon it's just going to be a complete cock up. Like,
Yeah, well,
that's,
and
you
that
know,
is my worry that we'll sort of get half what we want. We'll get a Halo 2 HD remake, but it'll be like Halo 2. The multiplayer will be like Halo 2 Infinity, so it's just going to be Halo
yeah.
4. It'll just be like Halo 4, but with Halo 2 remade maps, and it's
Yeah,
just
none of this
I think
sprinting
I'd
rubbish, for
cry.
Christ's
I
sake.
think I'd cry if that happens.
Oh Christ! Yeah, no,
uh,
we just got to hope it's identical. I can't. In all honesty, I have absolutely no faith. But if they do, like, it's only one thing we want. It's not like we're asking for much. Like, how hard is it to remake a game and put it in HD? Yeah, sure, fair enough. A lot of work has to go into it, but it's not like hard to clone something and then put it onto like, you know, an Xbox One and change like a lot of the coding and stuff. Like, better than starting from scratch though. But it may be for some companies to remake a game, it may take longer to start from scratch. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a professional coding fanatic like am myself, so I'm not going to know. I work in IT, but not on the coding
you
side.
work in
But
IT, but you did have to sellotape your webcam to get it to work. So
it works. It just keeps falling off, and I just can't be asked to piss it
um,
up. I think the first time I used a cam in bloody God knows how long.
but like I was saying about obviously we were talking about you know what's wrong with with Halo and
Yeah.
the sort of future for it, and that boils down to 343. This is why I am a bit more skeptical, because I just, based off what they've done so far, that's what I'm basing my prediction off, is what they've done so far. At the moment, I don't think they've done anywhere near enough for us to be able to sit back and be confident. Like, yeah, they'll make a great game next time. Like, look at the other one. I mean, it's the little things though. It's like, as a developer, this is, oh god, it just boggles my mind just talk about it. Like, as a developer, could you imagine sat there in multiplayer and going, do you remember Halo 1, 2, and 3? They were great, yeah? Yeah, okay. Do you know what we need to do, though? We need to make so when you've got the flag, you can't drop it. Just because that's obviously, that's normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, oddball, let's make it so you can throw it. Yeah, just throw that oddball around.
What a great idea.
And like, sprint. Let's get sprint in there. And you know what would be good as well? Let's make it so that you can see through walls, because, let's face it, walls just get in the way. And it's just like, it's all these things where I just think like, oh my god, imagine if they put that in Halo 2 Anniversary.
I know it'll make your eyes bleed and give you AIDS, in all honesty.
Yeah.
It's just such a shame, because I love Halo. Like, I was so passionate when I was a kid. Like, I was so passionate about it. I remember my first World Championships for WCG in '03. I even cried because I was that passionate about the game when I lost, and that was when I lost to bloody Zyos. I didn't. Obviously, I know he's like really good player, but back then I didn't know who he was. I thought it was just some random American who thought he was good, and like I actually cried. I was in tears. I was that annoyed, and like I haven't had that passion for the game since beginning of Halo 3, because it just killed me inside a little bit. Or it might be because I've grown up and I realised that it's just all a load of rubbish. But no, it's definitely not because of age or anything like that. Like, if the game was good and actually took physical individual skill, then I would actually come back, because it'll make more sense that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so many things have to be fixed. It's no way to describe how many things. It's like you'd have to get a list of 100.
Yeah, and that's it. It's amazing how it went so wrong. You mentioned earlier on about Call of Duty. Now, everybody knows I don't like Call of Duty, but
Yeah.
you can't argue with the success they have, and they changed
I don't
very
know what
little to
happens.
almost nothing from
Yeah.
game to game. Whereas
That's
Halo,
exactly it.
like-
Yeah, but sorry. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, Halo between 1, 2, and 3 changed little. They did
Mm.
change a couple of things, but it was little.
Halo
But
2 to Halo 3.
sort of Halo 1, 2, and 3.
No, there's just massive differences. With Halo 1 to Halo 2, it was like the biggest difference I've ever seen for a game. I felt like I wasn't playing
Really?
Halo. I thought I was playing something. Yeah. Honestly, like, I was playing it like Halo 1. I was playing it literally like 12, 16 hours a day online for like 3 years. And then to go to Halo 2, like, it felt honestly really weird. It felt like I wasn't playing Halo at all. And I'm sure the other Halo 1 players would agree with me. Well, that's why 90% of them quit, in all honesty. Or then maybe they went and got a life, I don't know. And,
Who does that? Who would go out and get a life? This is
yeah,
ridiculous.
I know.
How selfish of them.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And then Halo 2 and Halo 3, oh my Christ, that was again a massive difference. I could not believe it.
Really? Man.
But, yeah. I mean, Halo 3 to Reach, there wasn't much difference to me. Like, it felt quite similar.
You see, that was
I
complete
didn't feel any
opposite for me.
different.
Halo 3 to Reach was just like, why can I sprint? Why have I got a jetpack? Why have I got Bloom?
Yeah.
Like, what are all these things?
Well, why do you think people like really struggle in Halo 2 compared to Halo 3? It's not because of the skill gap. Well, it is a lot of it because of the skill gap, but it's also because of the fact that I forgot what I was going to say now. Yeah, it's basically because of how much the game's changed. I can't really explain it. Obviously, like I said earlier, it's 60 frames. Halo 2, Halo 3 is like 1 frame. And it's like, it's the size of the maps. It's like, for example, with Halo 2, like all the maps were really tiny and symmetrical. So obviously you can make fast-paced action and like you can think quicker. So the better player would win. Halo 3, like for example, Pit, everything's closed off. It's too big. So by the time like you thought of a really, really clever decision and you go and do it. So it's like, I don't know, 2 of us will go through what's it called, alley, long and then like 2 go over shield and we sandwich and whatever. And then, like, by the time the other team are like scratching heads, I'm like, it's been about a minute since they, it takes so long for them to realise that no actions happen for like last 30 seconds. They know what to expect, and it's just ridiculous.
Well, I'll give you that. I think at a really high level, definitely 2 much more fast paced. Obviously, you had things like glitches in 2 as well. Sorry, I dismissed that earlier. You could like double shot, quad shot, BXR, all that kind of stuff. In 3, there was none of that. But I would say mechanically, the movement. You still couldn't sprint in any 1, 2, or 3. They didn't add things
thank
like
God for
jetpacks,
that.
and the game type stayed pretty much the same. An oddball game type still worked like an oddball game type. Flag game type still worked like
Yeah.
flag game type. But then in Reach and 4, I mean, God, again, why can't you drop the flag? Oh God, it still annoys me so much. It's like flag juggling is a skill.
They were fixing something. They were trying to fix something which isn't broken. Like, I'm all for, like, trying to make improvements on the game, ever so after. But, like, yeah, it's like, it's hard to explain. Like, also for the new kids as well, like thinking Halo 4 is amazing and like they'll shag it as much as possible and stuff, and they think it's better than all of them. The only reason why they're saying that is because of the fact that they've not played the previous ones. Like, saying Halo 4 is amazing and then not knowing what Halo 1's all about, that's like going to a pub and they've never been to a club before. Like, it's exactly like that pretty much. I know it sounds a bit
You and your
retarded of a
analogies.
comparison. Yeah, analogy. I'm an analogist. I should change that to my name. Yeah, but that's my opinion. And then, like, yeah, so it's like going Halo 4 to Halo 2. It's like going from a pub to a club, and Halo 2 to Halo 1. It's like going from a club to a brothel or something. Honestly, it's like madness.
All right. Well, this has sort of led nicely into the next question. All these things, especially Halo, is now in the hands of 343. And that being said, do you think, like, honestly, do you think Halo does have a future in esports at all?
I don't know really. With Call of Duty like flying away like it is, but then again, Halo used to be like that. So anything could change in a space of so many years.
It could.
But for them to be as high as Call of Duty, it's gonna be at least 2 or 3 years until we can get up to that standard. Christ. My answer is not sure. I'll be honest. I'd say no because I don't really have any faith in them. But obviously, a lot of people will disagree and be like, "No, they'll be amazing. Oh, they'll never let us down." Well, they've already let us down first attempt, and they bodged up Halo 4, didn't they? And it's become the worst selling, well, not the worst selling title, but it's become
the best
like
selling, but it's the worst performing title.
That's it. That's the what I meant. Yeah. So it's performed well, but like,
no, it's sold well.
So it's sold well.
Poorly.
Sold well, but it's performed horribly at competitive events, basically. And the stats and the facts says it all, really, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And it's not just competitively that it's failed miserably. It's like I said before, it didn't even last a year in the top 10 on Xbox Live. And I could understand it not lasting maybe like top 5 because there's like there's things, those Call of Duty games, etc. But I can't name 10 games on the 360 that I could think would be played more online. I can only name Halo. Sorry, I can only name Call of Duty. Like, what are the other 9 games that kicked it out? I mean, for God's sake, when Halo 3 got re-released,
Avatar Gold probably at the time.
Gold, like Halo 3 was beating Halo 4 at one point. It's like, what is going on?
Oh yes, that's true. Actually, I was I think I saw it on Twitter at one point. I noticed that Halo 3 took over Halo 4 with regards to the amount of players, obviously, playing online. And I was like, "You what, mate? Like, what has happened here?" Like, obviously, I'll be honest. I don't I don't keep up with the scene that much, but obviously, I may pop on top mid now and again just to see exactly what's going on. Like, I like to catch up with people as well, even though with some of the people I don't know from just starting Halo 4. It's nice to get to know them and see what they're like and stuff. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Even I spoke to a couple of people. I was like, "What on earth's going on? Like, why is Halo 3 become bigger? Like, Halo 4's only been out for like 9 months a year." And when there was not a bar chart, but I think it was a line chart to show exactly,
I've seen it.
Yeah, Christ, it was literally
like this, isn't it? It's like this is a starting point,
nothing
and then
here.
I mean, to be fair, like they must have expected when Call of Duty came that it would drop, but it literally was like Halo 4, Call of Duty. It's like, oh my word! But obviously, what you said about does it have a competitive future? I want to say
Halo 2 Anniversary or Halo 5?
Just Halo in general, because we don't know anything about Anniversary.
It does. It depends on how they go about it. That's all. Spectator. Oh, I forgot to mention spectator mode would be quite good. I'm sorry, but how long's it been? I remember in the Halo 3 beta they were considering having the colour white as spectator mode and then having it all sorted and done and dusted. I thought, oh, brilliant, fantastic. It'd be great for MLG and everywhere else, but no, not at all.
Because that is a big problem for Halo. I remember EGL saying, I think even MLG said it at the time, was that it costs a lot to stream a Halo tournament because there's no spectator mode.
Yep.
Whereas for other games, it's a lot cheaper. Which, as a business, these are going to become big decisions.
Yep.
Um, but what I was saying about, does it have a future? I do really, really, really want to believe it does. But the problem that I see Halo having is that, I mean, Call of Duty is, it's like a colossus. It's just eating everything console esports wise.
Well, one of the main things, the reason why it's so big, is the fact that with the spectator mode and the casters, obviously casters can jump into
Yeah,
any. Sorry, mumble went a bit weird then. Yeah, for some reason, as you may have noticed with Twitch, like, they've got so many casters for Call of Duty, and obviously with the spectator mode, they can cast and stream any game they like. With Halo, the reason why there's no viewers is because there's no spectator mode. Like, people like, I don't know, Sims, like, for example, if there's an online tournament for, I don't know, to win iSeries tickets, even though I don't play Halo, I would love to watch that, like, just to see what's going on and who's winning and who's getting raped and who's choking and stuff. But, like, people like Sims and, who was it, Slinky and who else do three of the other
AZ.
casters anyway,
Yeah,
Daisy, yeah. And basically, they could actually stream the game for us. But now the only thing we can do is the players to stream themselves the matches, but they won't do that because it's lags too much for them.
equipment's expensive.
There's so many reasons behind it, but yeah, spectator mode is like 100% a big one. If we don't get spectator mode for Halo 2 Anniversary or Halo 5, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be dead until Halo 6. I'm not saying it's like one of the like top 3 reasons, but it's a good reason to get out there, because like I said before, it's all about marketing and advertisement. Them streaming the games all the time, constantly, all the tournaments, it will make it a big thing.
Yeah, but this is something else. Of obviously, the next Halo has got to be one. It has to be a really good game. It's got to have all these features like spectator mode, etc.
Yeah.
But something that I'm not sure that it will get, that I think it needs, is that it needs developer support. When you
Yeah.
look at PC titles that are doing well, League of
Yeah.
Legends, etc., they've all got developers. But when you look at Call of Duty, that the deal they have with MLG is directly from their developer.
Yeah.
So like, are 343 willing to do that based off the past? They did Halo 4 GC, but I mean they're meant to have some deal with Virgin Gaming, and they've done nothing.
I've not seen anything since they've done this whole Virgin Gaming malarkey, in all honesty. But
Yeah,
like, I would never trust Virgin Gaming, because I remember they were saying they were going to do a Battlefield 4.
$1 million.
Actually, no. I wouldn't say I don't trust them, actually, because they did a massive event at one point, didn't they, for FIFA, and it was all the American titles, like was it NHL and
I'm not sure,
NFL?
but I do remember they were meant to
yeah.
have a $1 million Battlefield 3 tournament that never happened.
Yeah, what happened to that? It's still waiting at the moment. I don't know what happened, but no, I wouldn't say I don't trust them. But I don't see why Virgin wouldn't say no, because when they held that massive event in America, they seemed to it brought in a lot of viewers. I never actually watched FIFA, but I only watched it because of how much money was involved,
Yeah,
and how competitive it was. I just thought it'd be a good laugh or something. It's just something to watch or something. But yeah, it's just. Oh, it's a shame, really. That Virgin Gaming combination with 343 would have been, brilliant. It would have been a fantastic start to get Halo 4 back off again. But, well, obviously it's been done now.
yeah, but like you said, it's been undone. But I remember at the time, I thought, like, when they announced this deal, although I'm not really sure what the hell happened with that. 'Cause I
Yeah.
remember Sundance saying that the reason Halo 4 couldn't be at MLG was something to do with the deal with Virgin Gaming. And then I remember thinking at the time, like, Virgin Gaming, well, they're part of Virgin, they've got so much money, that, like, Halo, wow, Halo's in safe hands. I was so young and naive. But, so obviously, we just got to kind of wait for 343 to please give us a good game.
It's like I said, there's all these reasons, but, we could go on all day about it, but, what can you do, eh? Just
Yeah.
got to see what's come out with. E3's next month. I think
Next month, yeah.
Second week or third week of June. So, it'd be interesting to see what's going on. I'll come back for Halo 5 first event, just to give it a good, smash its back doors in and see how it goes. And Halo Anniversary, I'll just give it a try, just for the crack, really, just because it's old maps and stuff. Like I said before, all of SSRCG will come back for Halo 2 Anniversary, even if it's rubbish, just to, have a good play of it, see how it is, see how it goes. And then if it's not what we expected, like I said before, it's not like almost identical, then yeah, we'll just go back to playing our own games. Like, we're going back to StarCraft. Gavin, everyone else will
Counter Strike.
go back to Counter Strike and LoL and Dota and God knows what else. There's so many games at SSRCG I can't even keep up. But yeah,
But there are tons of games in esports now, which is a reason Halo might struggle. But actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was my next question: of what would it take to get you and a lot of the older players to come back to competing and playing properly? Not just like makeshifting.
yeah. Well, it probably might. It probably would help. A lot. It probably decreased the amount of matchmaking, makeshifting, because all of us back in the day, we never really jumped from team to team all the time. Like, we never like broke up for an event and went like 3 days for an event and then grab another team, or we never changed teams every day or every week. Literally, we had a team, we stuck with it for 3 months, and then even if things were we had the good days or the bad days, I think we were quite mature back then when it came to actually how we wanted to team and etc. I think they just followed suit from how people are just in general, because a lot of people were quite mature players back then. So
Yeah,
I think they just followed like how the top players. Have they noticed the top 18s back then would basically stick together for God knows how long? Like, for example, TSG, we stuck together for like 3 years. SRT, they made like a change here and there, like every like year, every 6 months, but it was only like one player change. Like, it wasn't like the whole team like disbanded and then like went their separate ways. But yeah,
that's
there's
so
no.
different to
Yeah,
say
I
Reach,
know.
especially in Reach. I remember after every event, there was like team changes everywhere. Even the day before an event, team change. We dropped
I might
somebody.
be
We need somebody.
Exactly. I might be wrong. It might just be because of the competitive level back then. They just wanted to get, even though they won the event, they didn't want to win the event 6-4. They wanted to win it 6-0 and stuff. And I wish, yeah, it can be understandable, but yeah, it's hard to decide really. But yeah, back then, we would always stick together no matter what, and that was like, I would say we was quite good role models for any new player that would come into the scene, because if they would stick, they see us all stick together, they'll be like, maybe we have to stick together, but that's not the point. Point is the fact that the role models like for the last few years just been jumping from boat to boat, but that's got nothing to do with the fact that the game's like gone downhill performance wise, like at
Yeah.
events. Because obviously, look at Halo 3, like Eddie, for example, he jumped from team to team like every 2 days, but look where it got him. Like, he won a fair few events and got some good placements at MIG, didn't he? So
Yeah.
it's not obviously the wrong thing to do, because in all honesty, I thought it was, but he's proved me wrong. Like, jumping everywhere, left, right, and centre.
It
Like,
does happen. I swear it happens more in EU Halo than in American Halo, because
yeah.
like they're big teams, like say Straight, Ripping for example, or Final Boss during Halo 2. Like they were so solid, and when they did make a team change, it was like big news. Whereas over here, it's like
It was like,
not now because there's
oh
not
my
enough
god,
people to
yeah,
change teams now. But
yeah.
back in
It's
the
like,
day, it's just like new. I fancy a new team today. Let's make a new team.
well, this is it. In the only time like we'd be like, oh my god, like someone's changed teams, would be like if there's a top 1 or 2 team over here. If there's like a top 6 team, I'll be like, oh, good for you. Like, I hope you get top 6 again. Like, it's like they'll drop someone, like they'll get top 6, and then they'll drop a player to get top 6. Like, literally, not much difference. It's just, yeah,
All right.
crossing the like.
Right, I'm going to try and wrap this up now pretty soon.
Sorry, yeah, it's been quite long.
It's fine, mate. We just all I've got. I think I've got about a couple of community questions now that were posted on uh, SSRCG. Actually, I think they're all from. And the
Ooh.
first ones are from Anthony, and this is a good one because I agree with this. Was what are your thoughts on the Halo community not opting to do BYOC at Insomnia events and instead getting the turn up and play tickets?
Now, this is like a really good question. Like, we did ask quite a lot of people why, but I think it was partly because Jack, I think it was Baxter, he was saying, oh, because I think it was I-36. I think he said something like, oh, because everyone was at BYOC,
I-43
BYOX.
is I-43. I've got the
Was it
still got the
I-43?
wristband.
Oh, was that when he? Yeah, because he started saying, "Oh, it makes it not competitive," and it just no, that's not the point. It wasn't that it wasn't competitive. I don't know what. Like, I think because he was one of the top players, like the very, very top. He, everyone's like, "Yeah, Jack's right. Yeah, because he said it. It must be right. Yeah, if he said to jump off a bridge, yeah, I'll jump off a bridge." Like, do you know what I mean? It was basically like that. And like, I was reading it, and I was like, "What drugs are they on?" Like, I think. I can guarantee that if they all did BYOX, for example, and practice him in like chilled out stuff. Like I heard so many players last event, even when there was 9 teams, going, been waiting for about 10 hours. I ain't played a game yet, and then they'll play one series. I'm like, yeah, I'm knocked out, or 2 series. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, you could have been sitting there practicing or playing with your mates or getting drunk, playing Avatar golf, or God knows what else they would do. And at least you can have a laugh and practice or do whatever rather than standing around. Like I saw so many people just stand around 2 stations.
Yeah.
Like, you've got like 16 Xboxes between like 36 players. Well, it's 19, no, 40 players. Let's say 40 players because obviously some people came here for faith for laugh. And so, yeah, technically, like, if I do my maths from my degree correctly, yeah, it's like someone waiting every 3 or 4 hours for a game or series rather. That's a joke. Like I wouldn't pay like to play. Like if I was like a not very good player but I wanted to go for experience, I would come to at least play a few series or at least like warm up and stuff, a warm up station, but there's nothing like that.
Yeah,
so,
I agree
it's a shame,
completely.
Really. But no, so the answer to the question is you have to do BRX to practice. It's a lot more of a laugh as well, and I think you have to experience it first. Like some people experienced it, but because they listened to Baxter, obviously, no one's going to bother doing it.
Now, I remember that event, and my team actually did BYOC at that one, and I think only one other team did. So obviously, like the atmosphere wasn't there, but my team and this other team just spent the whole time like warming up, whereas everybody else was just hanging around the stations. And I do agree with that completely because like EGL and Insomnia, sometimes you are waiting. Especially in Halo, which is really weird because we don't have that many teams. You can be waiting for hours to play.
I know, like this is what I mean. I'd say on average 3 or 4 hours per team. Like even just to jump on and play like a 5-game series, that's like one of the worst things. And BOX, like one of the main things as well is you get to know each other a lot better. Like if you're all sitting next to each other on like one massive table, then yeah, it'll grow the community because of the fact that they enjoy each other's company a lot more. They get to know each other better, and it makes more interesting for teams as well and stuff because of the fact that they can be a lot more team changes around with players who are unknown. So, but you can't scout like certain players in like 1 series or 2 series. It's not possible. Like it's ridiculous.
And like you said, you do miss out. I personally think that, especially when we came over to see the BYOC. In fact, it's not just you. I've got a friend who goes to our series every year, and he does BYOC and he plays League. And he goes down with loads of his mates, though. And, like, he's having such a better time than I have.
Well, this is exactly the same as what we do at SSRCG. We filled up an entire row. I think how many? I'm just trying to remember now. I think there was about 35.
Yeah, you had a lot of people
30 of us. And that was just, like, one event, pretty much. And next event, I think we predicted to have about 40, 50 of us. And, again, it's another thing, like what I said about Halo 2 Anniversary. If that was... with us combined with you guys, obviously,
it's a lot of
make
teams.
up for at least 32 teams. Yeah, exactly. But now the answer to the question is, BRX, people over at top mid, all the players from Halo 3, 4 need to like maybe knuckle down and consider actually, doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more expensive, but yeah, it's worth it.
Last question, then I'll let you go. Is from
somebody.
I think it's got somebody called Ruff. I'm not sure who that is.
Oh, that's Dean.
Dean, right. He said, can you explain to us why, when you went to New York City for MLG, you brought a used toilet seat back with you in your suitcase? Can you?
I must have been pissed. Oh, no, I was pissed. I don't know. There was a random floor in the building at MLG New York, and me, Nadie, Ruff, and a few others, I can't remember. I was drunk, I can't remember. Went upstairs and just act like idiots, as you do when you're 17, 18. And I had a toilet seat in my head, and I put it in my suitcase and took it. I think I took it home as a souvenir.
But how did you get it on your head? I feel like there's a big...
I actually put it on my head myself, and the clever thing was, it was a used one as well, so I got glandular fever when I got home, and I was in bed for 3 weeks. So yeah, I wouldn't be... Yeah, so lesson learned, girls.
Yeah, if you've ever thought about putting a toilet seat in your head, don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it. It's one of the big... make sure it's clean, because I didn't actually realise until afterwards. You're laughing at me. I didn't actually realise it. Like, I didn't realise till afterwards. So yeah, it was... it was a good experience until I got home and felt ill.
Yeah. All right. All right, mate. I will let you go. Thank you very much for doing this. It was a pleasure talking to you, and
it's a pleasure talking to you as well. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't make it down to the last event, so I didn't get to catch anybody. But
yeah, you land dodger.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to play anymore. That's the thing. Like, I need to play something. I need to play
CS.
something at a tournament. Oh, I can't. And nothing to do on the PC. That's too complicated. I need, simple stuff on a controller. A mouse and keyboard. Can't do
Oh dear.
that. All right, mate. Thank you very much. I'll let you go.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching.